Oh my gosh, my friend was like the best dressed, cutest girls out here showing up, doing the most. I think it's maybe one of the sort of opening montages where there's an eye and a flick of the eye. That's all me. I did it in one take.
Hey Cailee, it's Claire from MTV. How's it going?
Good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love the look.
Oh, thank you. You're the first person to say it.
I'm obsessed.
Thank
It's giving
you.
Priscilla.
Oh yeah, a little 60s nod.
It's been out in the US for a few days now, so have you received any comments or messages from people that's left you a bit starstruck or just really touched you?
It's really all my girlfriends that went and saw it and sent photos, and they were yelling at the screen at certain scenes, and they sent photos of themselves crying at the end. My friends they went off, and my family. I think my sister's now seeing it for the third time.
The girls showing up for a Sofia Coppola movie, who would have thought?
Oh my gosh, my friend was the best dressed, cutest girls out here showing up, doing the most. Love it. Only for Sofia.
Sofia, she's had such a huge influence on young women and girls who are now women, and she's made us feel so validated in our own lived experiences. So what was it like for you to be part of a story of hers that's really told through the female gaze and Priscilla's own lived experience?
Yeah, there were so many parts of telling that story that was so exciting for me, but yeah, I think like a lot of young women, Sofia is sort of the ultimate. And she, when I found her films when I was around 14 or 15, starting with The Virgin Suicides and then, watching her whole filmography of work, I think this slots right in perfectly. And the way that she depicts young women, and she doesn't ever underestimate them or look down on them. And yeah, her films really cracked me open. And so she truly was my dream director. So to get to work with her on this project and to tell this story, which felt so important to tell, and to get Priscilla's story right, and make sure she felt represented. Yeah, I couldn't imagine anyone else telling this story,
Is there one, if you had to pick, that you would just love to go in and be immersed in the world of?
Maybe Marie Antoinette?
The wigs.
The wigs, the cake, the clothes, all of it, yeah.
And I mean, you step into this role so effortlessly. It's so refreshing and exciting to watch, because obviously we're learning about a side of the story that many of us haven't really seen or known before. So for you, what was the most exciting and appealing thing about that?
I mean, there was so much. I mean, there was an emotional component that felt like such a challenge for me as an actress to be able to play this age range. I think we spanned 14 years of her life, and to sort of get that down into a 2-hour film and to shoot it out of order in 30 days was just such a wild thing to take on. To be in Graceland, it felt like you're walking into a wedding cake. It was just and they did such a beautiful job, such a dream as an actor that they built these whole sets. A lot of people think we shot in Graceland because I think it looks just that good, but everything was so tangible. You were right there. It was very immersive. And then playing someone like Priscilla Presley, I mean, it was growing up, going to Graceland and making those road trips and being such a fan of both of them, and then to get to sit down with Priscilla herself. This whole journey has been so surreal. It's something that I'll keep with me forever.
You had a dream partner in Jacob as well. Obviously, I can imagine, stepping into well-known roles, real people like this is quite daunting. So what was it like to kind of go on that journey together and be, support systems to each other?
It was so much fun. I mean, it was nuts, we had to take on these massive roles and try to make it believable in these 30 days. But I think what Jacob did so beautifully is that we got to see him play a version of Elvis behind closed doors and really, draw back that curtain on who he was as a young man and where his insecurities were coming from, and really show the highs and lows. And he did so much research, and he was so committed. and he really had my back. You never know what you're getting into with a co-star, but I really felt like I could trust him, that he would have ideas to bring to the table every day. And he's such a giving actor, which sometimes you don't get either. You know, I've this whole movie I'm reacting off of him. I think he has more dialogue in the film than I do. It's really just these shots of close-ups of me sort of reacting to him and his world, and so I really had to have an actor who was gonna be there for me and to give his all, and he didn't hold back, and I just felt really lucky that I got to work with him.
And speaking of that, those silent moments with Priscilla, they're so powerful. And one of my favorites is when she's pre-labor applying lashes. It says everything. It says everything.
Yeah.
What one was your favorite?
I think that one was my favorite. That's actually I think it's one of the most moving shots in the film, you know. And Sofia's sort of a master at saying so much with so little, you know. I think that shot in particular, which actually happened, it's in her book, she talks about it. You really get an idea of sort of the pressures that are on her and sort of the role she has to play, even in a moment right before giving birth. I love those shots. I love the one where she's going into Graceland, and I think she's now living there. It's her first, but she's all alone, and she's sort of trying all the different chairs in the living room and trying to figure out how she's sort of the beginning of her trying to figure out who she's gonna play, how she's gonna be this woman to this sort of mythic man. And I thought those shots were beautiful.
Back to the makeup. Obviously you had a makeup team on set doing everything, but you know, when you were like by yourself and since, have you ever tried to master the eyeliner? Because that flick is hard.
Well, there's a shot in the movie where I think it's maybe one of the sort of opening montages where there's an eye and a flick of the eye. That's all me. I did it in one take. I was very proud of myself. I think it might have been the hardest scene to shoot.
Yeah, that's a real task. Well done, props.
Thank you.
I see you. Well, Cailee,
Thank you.
Nice to talk to you. Congratulations
Thanks, Claire.
On this movie. Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Bye. Have a great day.